Hi there YouTube, N-Scale Adventures here, doing first video of a weathering video series. Today's video I'll be explaining what I use, and the second part of today's video will be the fading technique with oil paints. There's two, for me at least, I use two different fading techniques. I've got my airbrush fading technique. Hey, airbrush, boom, bam. This one's actually an Aztec 4305. Jury's still out on this one. I just got it. I really haven't had a chance to use it much. Not sure. I had an A320 or the A3205 or something like that. I liked that very much. It broke. Got this one. Not sure I love it anymore that much yet. Haven't used it much though. Second, you've got oil paint fading, which I'll get more into after. First, we're going to talk about what I use. Oil paints. Colors I use: burnt umber, burnt sienna, raw sienna, Davies gray will come in handy once in a while. If you have like a gray car, like a hopper, like a green hopper or something. A lot of them are gray. A lot of them, even the white ones, you can use the gray on if that's, if you're going for like a kind of darkened effect. The burnt umber is basically my primary dark rust color. Burnt sienna is more like a light red rust color. And the raw sienna is very light, almost light rust, almost dirtish sort of, if you, thin it down enough. I also use water mixable oils, which are the same sort of idea as oils, but they can be mixed with water. That's how I make my rust streaks, and I'll explain that rust streaks in another video. I'm still like a beginner with the rust streaks, but I'm pretty sure I've got the other stuff down pretty good. Weathering powders. I have a basic little kit here I got a while back. It's got dark rust, light rust, medium rust, and black soot. I don't think you really need much. I don't use a ton of powders. That's about it, worth of powders that I use. I don't think you need 18 colors. I do have this Tamiya Weathering Master kit that has snow, which is white, soot black, and a rust color. And I used the snow to weather a car once. I'm not sure I like it that much. It's okay though. I got turned on by a friend who knows a lot about this, and he's had some good success with it. So he told me to try it out, and I just wasn't 100% sure about it. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of my weathering here. This car is a Chesty car, B&O. These cars were kind of tester cars in that, I really wanted to start getting better with streaking and rust marks, and so it's kind of a test car. I mean, this one fell on the floor and broke the back coupler off. My workspace is a canvas, is a piece of canvas. I think this one's maybe a 20-inch by 16-inch or something like that. You can buy them at any art store. They're kind of like 5-packs. I bought like 5 of them. I've used this one for a long time. It's a great workspace. I work here on my kitchen table, and when I paint, I airbrush, oil paint, it all goes on there. And then I can clean it off when I need to. Voila. Other stuff I've got here, I've got a auto rack here. I don't know why, but the colors, well, I just haven't had a chance to mess with the camera enough, and the colors are going to look a little off. They're going to look like this rust here looks really bright red for some reason, and it's not. It's a lot more brown. And there is a lot of rust on the sides here, more than I wanted, so I'm kind of in the process of taking a little bit more off from here and stuff. But it's a decent start. This is only basically fading plus one color oil. I did an airbrush fade on this. I'll try and show you the difference right now. We have two cars, both MKT hoppers. I don't know if you can see the difference, but this one here was done with a oil fade, And oil fade is basically a little bit of this foundation white with just a tiny touch of burnt umber, tiny touch. If you put in a lot, if you put in, too much, it'll just turn kind of like a reddish color, and you're gone. Try again. And this is more of an airbrush fade, so it's a little more pure white. It's a little more uniform. With oil fade, you get the white oil paint ends up getting in the I forgot what these are, the posts here. I forgot what they're called right now. And it gives it more of a not so uniform look. It looks more random. So that's the two major differences. Hopefully you can see that. If you can, I'll try and put in some pictures. Some other cars here kind of have. This is basically two colors. So this is the burnt umber and the burnt sienna. I did the burnt sienna first and then the burnt umber. I'm not sure you can see it too well on there. You can see a little bit more burnt sienna, and this one on the back. As I said, I'm still kind of experimenting with different techniques. And this one is the raw sienna streaked down, almost to give it a very light rust look. Hopefully you can see that. This is my second video, first one with this tripod, so hopefully this comes out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we'll be doing this again tomorrow. We'll see. So I'm putting my stuff away. Oh yeah, paintbrushes. This is important. When you're doing oil paint washes, paintbrushes. So you need, several different kinds of paintbrushes. You need some nice bristly, hard bristle ones. These will take off more paint. You need some softer brushes. And then I like this little fan brush is good for taking off wide areas of paint and more of a careful kind of detail taking off of the paint. And Q-tips. I love using Q-tips. Good stuff. They work well. They're cheap. I buy lots of them. Boom. And that's your basic stuff. Okay, wait. Sorry. X-Acto knife. You'll eventually need it. Just buy one. Different picks. That's from other stuff. Blue painter's tape. Another car here. This car pretty much finished. I just put on the patch. I still got to do it on the other side. I kind of halfway did it, and then I kind of ran out of time. So this one's done. I'm going to number this later. I'm pretty good with this car. It's a little thick and kind of, I'm not 100%, but I'm okay with it. It's not the best.